The Angle Slam podcast.
Take 4, was that?
Take 4, probably. Yeah, could have been take 3. I don't know.
We've got through it, I think. So we'll see what happens from now on.
Yeah,
So,
you're coming through. You're coming through a bit clearer. For anybody that's unsure, obviously Josh is sitting at home and I'm sitting at my house. We're not together because of the whole coronavirus pandemic. We can't be seen with each other, so we're having to do it via Zoom.
Can't be seen with each other like it's a bad thing.
Yeah, we can't. We couldn't do the intro together because there was a slight delay when it came to the music, but everything else seems to be fine.
Yeah, but let's see what happens. So we do this podcast for you guys again.
Yes, we are. So it's actually our 30th Angle Slam podcast.
Happy 30th.
Yeah, I like a nice round number when it comes to something like Mania.
Yeah, I say it is the big one, but it's a weird WrestleMania, as all wrestling fans will know.
Yes, no crowd.
Do you want to do the SoundCloud thing, or do you want to do the thing?
As everyone always knows, YouTube, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Apple Music, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, we're all on there, so you can find us pretty much anywhere to check this podcast and all the other ones out. We also, Josh has kind of come up with an idea going forward, being as we're all kind of stuck indoors and can't really do anything at the moment, is something to do with us doing a different podcast.
Yeah, it's kind of a spin-off, isn't it? Well, I was going to call it Angle Lock, which...
Yeah, the Angle Lockdown.
It works, doesn't it? So, and all it was, like, every maybe 2 or 3 days, we just ask random wrestling questions to each other. Not...
Yeah, just like a specific topic or something along those lines.
Yeah, but not like... Completely kind of improvised. We're not going to discuss the questions beforehand for those going, well, you've had time to think about it. We're just going to, off the cuff, see what each other think and go from there.
So, we don't know when we're starting it, but probably next week, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, if we wanted to, those of our friends that listen, that are wrestling fans, I see no problem why they can't get involved in this. Maybe one at a time, if they've got Zoom, because that's what we're doing it through.
Yeah.
For those listening. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. I suppose the obvious tributes is for everyone who's either suffering or unfortunately passed away with this coronavirus crap.
Yes, obviously everything's going on there. Hats off to the NHS as well and everybody that's getting involved and doing all that.
Yeah, I don't really want to go too much detail into it because it's a horrible thing and this is meant to be a distraction and we just have to ride through it. Really, that's all we can do. So stay the fuck at home and listen to us.
Yeah, listen to everybody and just stay at home.
If you're bored, listen to us. We're very
interested. We've got loads of podcasts. Listen to all of them. And just read a book, watch some TV, stay indoors. Just listen to everybody, and obviously wash your hands. But you should be washing your hands anyway.
Yeah, but basically just be hygienic.
Yeah.
Don't be a fucking tramp. So, and then before you know it,
we'll be back out in society.
Yeah, we'll be in pubs again and stuff, which everybody wants. So, shall we get WrestleMania 36?
WrestleMania 36. We're going to do part 1 and part 2 together. Let's crack on. We're not talking about the pre-shows. Couldn't give a shit about them.
Yeah, obviously for those that watch wrestling, they know because of this Corona stuff, it was in an empty... Well, it wasn't even an empty arena, was it? It was their performance centre.
Yeah.
So, an empty gym. And... for what they did, for what it was, I knew it wouldn't be an amazing setup, even though it pretty much said WrestleMania and everything. I think they did okay with the bad situation they were dealt.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think they definitely, we all agree it probably shouldn't have happened at all. It should have been postponed just as much as everything else. But, Vince decided to move forward with it. And it gave us 6 hours of forgetting about what's going on in the world at the moment, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, for what it was, I'm not saying it was the perfect show by any means, because without a crowd, it was never going to be the perfect show. But yeah, I thought this might have just been a complete clusterfuck.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it wasn't.
No, I don't think so either. So, let's crack on with the first match then. So that was...
It was the women's tag team.
Yes, it was, yeah. So it was Alexa Bliss and Nicki Cross versus the Kabuki Warriors. And It wasn't a bad opener, to be honest. It was a weird one when I first came on. I was thought to myself, why would you open with that? However, considering the Kabuki Warriors are so loudmouth and everything, it was a nice way to keep the energy up when there was no crowd.
Yeah, I had a similar thing. I kept thinking, God, they're annoying with that loud shit. But I thought, A, it's part of the character, because they're heel characters. And two, because there's no atmosphere, you don't want to be just throwing yourselves about and just hearing nothing, just the slam of the mat and stuff. So they, embraced what was part of their character and were just yelling at the top of their lungs. And in case you did kind of drift to look at your phone or whatever, them screaming would make you at least look up to go, oh, what's going on? They kept it kind of, attention span.
Yeah, I mean, the match, again, it wasn't a bad opener. There was, reasonable amount of spots, good storytelling and everything. I don't remember anything, really stand out as far as wrestling was concerned, but it was a good, solid match, and I kind of expected the changing of the titles to happen. I don't know why. I just got a funny feeling that Vince still doesn't really care about these titles. So because of that, I see them being hot-potatoed quite a bit. And this is one of them.
I apparently thought maybe the Kabuki Warriors might come out with this. It was just, if Mania had gone down the way it was going to go, in the stadium and stuff, I think it would have been maybe in the mid-card area. Just that kind of okay, we're going to bring the tone, not down as such, but let you reserve your energy and then we'll bring you some of the marquee matches. Because like I say, it was kind of a weird opener.
Yeah, because I would have thought they would have gone with something like KO or Seth or Sammy and Daniel Bryan. Two matches that people know their stuff really well and it would be a good, solid, powerful opener. But for the
ball rolling.
Yeah, for the most part, it was a reasonable opener. I was happy with it. Nicki got her time to shine, and it was fun. I mean, apparently there's rumours that Kairi Sane's on her way out as well. She's not going to continue her contract. There's rumours about that, which is one of the reasons she probably ate the pin.
Yeah, that's a shame to hear. I mean, it wasn't. Again, the match wasn't bad, but I don't even think I'd class it as a main event of Raw caliber match. It was just kind of a match.
It was just solid, yeah.
Yeah. There was nothing wrong with it, but it wasn't exactly WrestleMania worthy, in my opinion.
That was.
But like I said, the titles changed, and they did nothing wrong.
No.
I thought there might be some green mist in there.
Yeah, they haven't. She hasn't used that in quite a while, to be honest. That's kind of run its course, hasn't it?
To be honest, now that I've said it out loud, because one thing I thought of was there's probably going to be blood, because not just because it's PG, but with the virus going about, it's probably not safe.
No.
But spitting something out your mouth into someone else's face when the virus is about.
Probably not a good idea.
Yeah, that's probably why they didn't go with it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So women's tag champions, Nicki Cross and Bliss. Be interesting to see where they go with it.
Really. I think so.
Next is a match you want to just skip, Ray.
Elias Corbin didn't need to happen. Didn't do anything for anybody.
That should have been a pre-show.
It was boring. There was nothing to it. Elias won when he shouldn't have because he fell from the thing and hurt his back the week before. But I've got nothing to say about it. It was boring. Didn't need to see it.
The only thing that stood out was how hard did he hit Corbin with the guitar.
Yeah.
It was really hard. But then the second night, here's the highlights from night one. Literally, the highlight was their entrances, the guitar, and the roll-up. If that's what the highlight
but that's all it was. That's all it was, really.
Yeah, then it was probably, if not the weakest match, one of the weakest matches of WrestleMania.
I would say it was the weakest. I'll go with weakest.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, there's one that I think might be around that caliber at some point, but we'll go into it. So, quickly past that.
That's that done, yeah.
Next was the Raw Women's title.
Yeah.
Which I thought would have been higher up the card.
Same here. When it was announced, I was like, really? Now?
Yeah. But then, when the way... Not the result as such, which we'll get to in a minute, but just the way that the match was, I was like, okay, in hindsight, it's probably the perfect place for it.
Yeah.
It didn't not deliver as such, but I think the fans were expecting more.
There was reasonable amount of dominance from Shayna. There was a bit reasonable amount of offense from Becky as well. It was quite a back and forth, although I would have preferred a bit more dominance to Shayna's side and everything. But it was quite a back and forth, and it was going okay. There was some brutal moments. There was some good matchups. There was Shayna putting her in the disarmer instead. There was some good bits being told, and then it just suddenly just fell in on itself with the ending, with her putting her in a submission hold, and then just doing it for a cheeky roll-up kind of thing. And it was just, she got Samoa Joe'd. And I was just kind of like, what? This is how you do it. It proves that all those rumours about Vince not being that bothered about Shayna anymore ended up being true. Even after all this build that he's put through with her, it's proven that he's clearly lost a little bit of interest in her, I think. Because if he was going to have Becky retain, he would have done it in a better way. And this was a crap way to do it, really. It bruised Shayna quite badly.
Yeah, I think it was kind of an underwhelming... definitely an underwhelming finish, because I think Shayna's been beaten like that multiple times now. And I think it's their cheeky way, mainly in NXT, but I think it's their way of trying to protect Shayna in a way of like, you'll be defeated, but not like because you're incapacitated, just like a cheeky thing. But I think it had the Shinsuke AJ Styles feel of like, we can't wait to see this. But it was underwhelming. Yeah,
really looking forward to it. It's one of the matches I was most looking forward to, and it ended up being just not good enough.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, neither of the women, again, did anything wrong. And this is going to sound like a bit of a pop at Becky, and, well, I'll be honest, it kind of is. For someone that calls herself the man, her in-ring work isn't really proving that right now.
The missus is saying the same thing. She's getting a bit boring. Yeah, she's getting a bit samey.
Yeah, just the last few pay-per-view matches she's had, it hasn't exactly delivered on a wrestling clinic standard. And even, I'm not saying you have to every time, but sometimes you rely on your character to get the match where it needs to go.
Yeah.
And it seems like as soon as the bell rings, she's not that man character anymore. She just goes, I'm going to wrestle.
I'm just going to wrestle. Yeah, and it's the thing, that they build it up, especially the last few weeks where they pushed her as this kind of a bit of a douchebag with all the clothes and hats she'd been putting on. And to double down on that when she entered for WrestleMania in this massive Optimus Prime truck with her face painted all over it. It was kind of like, it was that kind of arrogant, cocky douchebag man character. And then, like I say, as soon as the bell rings, it's kind of like, I don't see that in her wrestling.
Yeah, if Brock, I've said this from like the get-go. Brock Lesnar is actually an amazing wrestler, so I know he can like do hip tosses, arm bars, the whole shoot match. But his character doesn't do that.
It doesn't necessitate it.
Dominate, just with German suplexes in F5s. So Becky needs to find that balance of like, yes, I can do this, but what would my character do right now?
Yeah, same thing with like Stone Cold. It's like he was Stone Cold when he was talking, he was Stone Cold when he was wrestling. You know what I mean? You could just see that character wasn't just his chatting and talking. It was solidly through his performance in and out of the ring. And that's the thing. Yeah. She was like that, but I agree. She's starting to get a bit kind of just generic in the ring.
Yeah, that's the best way to describe it. I mean, they might have gone with the Becky victory for the shock element, because everyone thought Shayna was taking it.
Just didn't shock me.
A year now. Sorry?
Just didn't shock me.
No, it was just kind of like, really? Oh,
yeah.
Right. It's been a year now since Becky held the belt, so I think that's why people are expecting her to drop it. But on one side, I am kind of intrigued to see how long they actually want to keep the belt on her.
I mean, what happens? What happens if they decide to keep it on her until next WrestleMania when they go against Ronda? Maybe Shayna was like a stopgap because what they really wanted was Ronda, but obviously she's off busy baby making at the moment, so they've just gone, well, we'll do Shayna this year and then we'll focus on Ronda next year.
I'm wondering, they've got to be careful because it's a risk. Because at one point it could get to the point of like, what's the fucking point of even being invested in these matches? Becky's just going to win again. But if they do it correctly, it will become almost like, not as extravagant as this, but like the Undertaker's Mania Streak of who's actually going to beat Becky. So when you actually think this is it, Becky's losing the belt, and there's a kick out, you're like, edge of your seat moment. But they've got to book it correctly, otherwise it's just going to become a boring title reign, and Becky will get even more stale.
Yeah, that's the thing. She's getting to that point now. He's becoming stale, and I don't want that. I want her to go out on a high, and it's just at the moment it's going the opposite direction.
The only way, if it does become stale, she'd have to do a complete heel turn.
Yeah.
Which, again,
it doesn't seem right. Yeah, it doesn't seem right.
No.
So yeah, underwhelming that match, I think.
Yeah, it was interesting. I will say this. I've said it since day one again. They always nailed those build-up package videos and promos and stuff to get you hyped, even in a no-crowd situation. What I noticed is that they were very lenient on the PG stuff throughout the night.
There was a lot of swearing.
Yeah, which I kind of liked. I think they just threw caution to the wind for this. And I think the first one was in the promo for Becky Shayna, where Shayna's just like, I'm going to kick the living shit out of you. I was like, okay, here we go. But yeah, so the match was okay.
Yeah.
But again, underwhelming. What was next? The Intercontinental title. Sami Zayn. Sorry, that's my phone going off.
The Intercontinental title. Yeah, Sami versus Daniel Bryan. I really like this. I mean, I wanted a bit more of the kind of solid, really big wrestling match. But for what they gave us, it actually told a really fun story. That everybody played their characters really well. There was some decent wrestling in there. And the finish, I was kind of like, I wanted, like, I didn't mind what happened. I just didn't want that to be the reason that he was pinned. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want, obviously, Sami retaining, I absolutely wanted. I think he needs to keep that belt for quite a while, and that makes absolute sense. I didn't want Bryan winning it. Didn't need to win it. It doesn't damage him to lose. But to get just when he was jumping off, just to be met with that haluva kick, I felt like, well, you could do that, pick him up, and then haluva kick him properly, and then pin him. Not just do that, because I felt like that haluva kick wasn't enough. It didn't feel like a proper one. Yeah, it didn't feel like a proper one. So I was like, well, you should have gone for two. You know what I mean? And I would have bought the defeat even more. You know what I mean? But that aside, the rest of it was fine. The story that was being told was really, really fun.
Apparently, Cesaro obviously had a pre-show match, so he kind of had his, if you can call it, Mania moment. He had his Mania thing. If you really wanted to give Shinsuke a moment and have a legitimate, more believable way of Bryan losing, it could have been Kinshasa behind the rest back and then the Haluva kick.
Yeah.
But yeah, to be honest, the match, in my head, I was thinking these two, wrestling ability-wise, could put on a clinic.
Yeah.
But with Sami's character, it's not the right time.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I wasn't that against it as much as what I did get. I was like, I wanted the clinic, but at the same time, it makes sense for the character at the moment.
Yeah, he was, reminded me of early Kevin Owens, the way he just kept rolling out the ring at the start to avoid him. I was like, right, you're frustrating me as a fan, which I hate, but I get it.
Because he's a dick. He's a dick that's avoiding any confrontation as long as he can. Yeah,
it's the build-up. So when Gulak finally got rid of Cesaro and Shinsuke, like, here we go.
Yeah.
And then Bryan did the bluff of like, all right, walk off. And then finally got his hands on him, like, here we go. But like I say, the only thing that kind of niched it a bit for me was that Haluva kick that was meant to be Bryan jumping off the top rope into it. It felt more just like, oh, he got a little bit of a big boot in.
Yeah.
And that's what got the 3 count.
Yeah.
Nah. And even Bryan afterwards, they showed him after the 3 count, and even he looked more like, oh, what, that beat me? He didn't look like it affected him.
Yeah.
It was like, why did you lose then? You could have kicked out. But yeah, the result I'm not complaining about. The overall match I'm not complaining about. Just a bit of a weak finish.
Yeah, but fingers crossed they can continue the feud, and when Daniel takes it off him, that will be the match that's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, apparently Bryan's looking at a part-time contract.
Yes, he is, yeah.
Yeah, which is fine.
Yep.
You know,
he's earned it.
You know, not only at age, but everyone knows his history with injuries and wanting to start a family and stuff. So that's fine. That's fine. The following was a weird one. A triple threat ladder match for the tag titles with only one person from each team.
Yes, because unfortunately Miz was ill, so he got sent home. It annoyed me that they billed this as the proper tag team match, even though they knew 2 weeks in advance that wasn't going to be the case. I hate it when they do stuff like that. It was the same thing with the whole Universal title thing. They knew for weeks on end, but they did continue to book it and promote it. However, this was one of the best matches of the weekend. These three went balls to the walls with it. They thought, look, there's no crowd, but let's just go nuts with it. And they used the ladder to every effect. They had great spots. There was new inventions. And the finish, although it's quite controversial, I loved it. I loved the creativeness because me and the missus both said to each other, that is not something I've seen before, and that makes absolute sense with the point of the story. Because they told you that you have to have hold of both titles, and that's what happened, and it worked perfectly.
I've only ever seen that kind of happen once before, but we're talking like 12 years ago in like a Jericho. I think it was Jericho Shawn for the world title. They took a war over the belt. I think they both fell, but Jericho got the belt.
Yeah.
So he won. So, I guess it was the other Uso and New Day ill, or they're just not allowed because
they just didn't go. Because of the whole Miz thing. They just basically, well, you can't play then. Basically, right. You got to go home.
I think they, no offense to Big E, I think Xavier's still injured anyway, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Kofi was obviously the right choice for that. He's kind of got a history with ladder matches, so he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Morrison, that's the best performance I've seen of him since he's returned.
Yeah, Morrison was great. Really
shone. He's a great athlete.
Yeah. And it's to give him a chance to shine without the Miz being around, which, even though this wasn't the original plan, it ended up working in his favour.
Yeah, I mean, Kofi did that thing where he kind of swung through the ladder and then I think kicked both of them.
Yes, I remember that.
Did he use Starship Pain off the ladder that was on the corner and then onto?
I think yes, I think so. Yeah, it was. I'm trying to remember spots. There was quite. That's the thing. I'm trying to remember specific spots because there was so much. It was high energy from start to finish.
The Kofi springboard to Morrison on the ladder into Hurricanrana. I don't even know how they did it.
Yeah, it was good, man. No, it was really good.
And then when again taking advantage of no crowd, was it Jimmy wrestling?
Yes, it was Jimmy. Yeah.
Jimmy going across the barricade and Kofi just lobs the ladder at him. I think he just killed Jimmy Uso. Holy fuck!
I did like the trash talking as well, and I mean not just this match, but every match. You hear them talking properly for the first time, and I like the fact that they kept that up and they had it quite loud. And I enjoyed that. It's like, I even said to Jimmy at one point, "It's like you got heart, kid. I like you, but it ain't your night." You know what I mean? Yeah. And I like that we get to hear that for a change. They had to act more on these nights because you couldn't have a crowd drown any noise out.
No, that's it. They needed to do it. Otherwise, it just would have been... Because apparently I was thinking as well, like, how are they going to call the match in the ring when we can hear pretty much a pin drop in there?
Yeah, absolutely.
So they either managed to without us knowing or, turn the mics off at the right moment. Because I don't know if you noticed, but there was obviously some editing.
Yes, there was a couple of edited moments. But it was only one, maybe two times throughout the entire shows that I really noticed it. Other than that, it was quite seamless.
Oh, well, I thought at one point when Jimmy got pushed off the ladder to the outside of the ring, you didn't see the impact. Was that an edit or what the hell happened there?
It could have been, yeah, it might have been.
But you can get, unfortunately, when you've got a taped thing in front of no one, you can get away with stuff like that.
You backed into a wall. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, very entertaining.
Really good match.
But again, just weird to see a tag title match without tag teams. I still don't know if I'm bored with that.
No, I mean, I don't want it to be a regular thing. It's just, I think it's just unfortunate. It's just, it's the card they're dealt and they had to respond quickly. And it ended up being a good match anyway.
Yeah. Next, Morrison won.
We know that. Yeah, he retained.
Yeah. Next was Kevin Owens versus Seth.
Awesome. I absolutely love this match. It was going in. It was one of the matches I was interested in, but it wasn't the one I was most hyped for, purely because I just didn't know how it was going to go down without a crowd. But these guys put on one of the best shows of the weekend. It was absolutely incredible. All the spots were brilliant. The stories being told was great. Seth being this arsehole heel, the babyface of Kevin Owens, the DQ thing that full on bought into it. They full on bought into it. I was like, really? You're going to finish it like that? And then when Kevin got in the ring with the mic, I was like, brilliant, go for an ODQ. And then he jumps off the WrestleMania sign, hits him with a stunner in the ring, good night, and Kevin is your winner. everything that was told about this was absolutely perfect. I really enjoyed everything about this match. It did everything it needed to do. No one looked good or bad coming out of this. It worked perfectly.
Yeah, again, like before the initial disqualification with the ring bell, there was a few good wrestling spots in there. I think a hell of a spike DDT and the pop-up powerbomb.
Yeah, that spike DDT was a hell of a spike DDT.
Yeah.
That was good.
Other than that, though, I'm not going to say generic wrestling match because otherwise I'm saying it was but you know, I enjoyed the wrestling match. Apart from those two spots, nothing really stood out. Again, they were telling the story better.
Yeah.
They should do. As soon as the bell went over Kevin's head and got the DQ, something in the back of my head going, I know it's not a proper Mania, and I know there's no one there, but is this the first time in the history of Mania we're going to have a DQ finish?
Yeah.
No.
No, can't have that.
No DQ, let's go. Another thing I noticed, they were leading on plenty of headshots.
Yeah, there was a couple. Yeah, there was. I did laugh every time I heard that bell ring as soon as they hit each other in the face.
I liked that.
It was a perfect ding! It was perfect. Yeah. It reminded me of the bedpan thing with Stone Cold and Vince.
To be honest, with the headshots, it wouldn't surprise me if that's where they took some clever editing in there. Like after every headshot, they go, "Cut, are you okay?"
Yeah, it probably did, but it worked fine because I didn't notice it.
Yeah, but it's one thing for Kevin. Kevin's won at Mania before, but you know he'll say he said it on screen and behind the scenes. He's just not really had that Mania moment yet. No,
it could have happened with him and Jericho, but the match ended up being crap, didn't it? So that was why that didn't really happen.
Well, it was okay to the fans. It was crap to Vince, and that just really, obviously, that puts Owens' esteem way down when the boss thinks it sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, doing the elbow drop off the Mania logo and basically destroying Seth and the table, that's his Mania moment.
Yeah, it was great. And
I think he can be proud of that. Unfortunately, it wasn't in front of 80,000 screaming fans.
No, it wasn't. But I still reckon it was a great idea to do that, and it worked well with the story and his character. He even said that originally, when they were going to be going to Tampa, as soon as he saw that pirate ship as part of the set, he was already thinking, "How am I jumping off this?" So this is a good substitute, to be honest.
There's a bit of Shane O'Mac's rubbed
off. Yeah, I think so. But yeah, great match. I'm glad Kevin won it.
Yeah, great. So, okay, this is again down there with the possible Elias Corbin thing. Braun Strowman versus Goldberg.
I have laughed like 5 separate times now. This is the 6th. Of just what I don't know what they were thinking. No build whatsoever. Yeah. Nothing, absolutely nothing. They literally announced it on commentary, and then literally 24 hours later, Braun Strowman is your new Universal Champion after 4 power slams.
Well, this is it.
It's ridiculous.
The internet is saying possibly the worst WrestleMania match ever, and I'm thinking maybe. Because despite what happened with Elias Corbin, at least they had a bit of a story, like you say. Now, with the Strowman thing, without having a story, that's just a shit deck as well, because obviously Roman had to pull out.
But you've got to try and build what you can. Don't just ignore it and then just 24 hours later just say something randomly on commentary. It's so haphazard.
They kind of put themselves in a corner because Braun... he's been on a kind of losing streak for a while. And if Goldberg had beat him again, it does nothing for Braun, and Braun's meant to be this monster, what's going on? But at the same time, I think I said to you the other day, Goldberg now losing to Braun, losing the Universal title, in a way, puts Braun on a bigger pedestal than the Fiend Bray Wyatt.
That's what I said. I said, the Fiend lost to Goldberg and then Goldberg lost to Braun. That means Braun is better than Fiend. And I don't see that. I just don't see it.
I get... If Braun had been on a winning streak for the last couple of months of, here, I'm the monster again, and I can kick Goldberg's ass, I might have believed it.
Make it more believable. But literally, the pay-per-view beforehand, he lost to Sami Zayn.
Yeah, he lost the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
And then I don't think he's done anything since then.
No, nothing. So, literally nothing.
But he had the 4 spears, kicked out, whatever. And then there was the 4 running power slams, which, in Braun's defense, I think Goldberg was fucking him up because he kept landing on his hip.
Yeah.
And I thought, not only are you a 50-year-old man, you keep landing on that hip, you're going to fucking cripple yourself. And then Braun got the pin. He's Universal Champion. And it's like, right, well, now what?
Yeah, exactly. He's either going to be just a guy in the middle before he's passing it on to Roman Reigns like they wanted.
Yeah, that's what I think he's holding the belt.
He probably is, or they can capitalise and actually have a feud against The Fiend where Fiend can get his title back. There's a load of stories sitting there waiting for them, so why don't they capitalise on it? If Braun loses, it doesn't really defeat him too much because The Fiend is a big character and we all like him, so if he loses to The Fiend, it doesn't matter.
I think, that eventually... again, for like the millionth time, we're probably going to revisit the Braun-Roman rivalry.
Oh, I hope not, because...
Braun wasn't even selling it at the end, and maybe he should, maybe he shouldn't have. At the end, when he won, he was like, fine.
Yeah, he just popped up like a daisy.
Yeah. Like, who's meant to be this monster. Sell it a little bit. I know you're happy that you're champ, but you're champ under shitty circumstances.
Yeah.
It's
laughable.
It'll probably lead to Roman eventually. If it leads to Bray, which I think it should, I think they need to, again, they're both good wrestlers in their own respect. I think they need to rely more on the story, though, of Braun was the fourth Wyatt family member.
Yeah. Like I said, there's a ready-made story there.
Yeah, and Bray's like, I haven't forgot you, and neither's The Fiend, and I want my belt back. Yeah, there's a story there.
Absolutely.
So, we'll see what happens, but
at the moment, it's like every now and then I just think of it and then I start chuckling to myself again.
Again, it's like, what now?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe it was something to do with Goldberg's schedule. I don't know.
It could have been.
Right, now, the main event of part 1. It was interesting, to say the least. There was something about it, I just couldn't take my eyes off it. It was just, I need to watch this.
Yeah.
This is the weirdest thing. It isn't wrestling, but goddamn, it's entertaining me.
Exactly, and this is the thing. It's called sports entertainment. And at the end of this match, I was thoroughly entertained. It might not have been the wrestling clinic or a match that we necessarily wanted originally, but Christ, it was entertaining. Everything about it, the production value, the way they put each other over and did all these moves and these different moments and stories being told, the mini-movie aspect of it, everything about it. It was crazy. It went balls to the walls, and it was funny, it was ridiculous, it was brilliant, and it warmed my heart to see something this crazy for a change. I just didn't expect this, and I came out so entertained from it, and I didn't think I would, and it really was awesome.
I think people worried that they were going to go, right, are they trying to, because if Mania going to head the way they wanted to, I think there still would have been that concern with Taker, because we all know what his health is like at the minute. But again, it's the whole, right, AJ's a phenomenal wrestler, no pun intended. So is the Undertaker. They could put on a wrestling clinic. Obviously, certain events in the world mean they couldn't do that. So they announced this Boneyard thing. You're like, right, are they really going to try and put on a wrestling match in a graveyard? And everyone kept thinking of that weird House of Horrors thing.
Yeah.
But, again, when AJ first came in the hearse, I thought, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, like that was a good intro. And
I thought Gallows and Anderson were going to be those two druids.
Yeah, but they popped up later.
Yeah, but then as soon as I heard that motorcycle roar and then Metallica kick in, I was like, okay, here we go. And just the way they panned up from the bike, they had that new almost crossover dead man biker gear and the bandana back. I'm like, you may be 50 odd, but you still look cool as fuck.
Yeah, man. I quite like seeing Biker Taker again, to be honest, because it made sense of the story. I didn't think it would with it being a Boneyard match, but when it kicked in, with all the trash talking, it made absolute sense, because Phenom doesn't do trash talking. He doesn't talk. He's methodical, he's quiet, and he's calculated. Biker Taker isn't. He's a loudmouth. He's got some attitude to him, and it worked perfectly through the whole match with their trash talking back and forth.
They needed to do it at the Performance Centre because of the silence. They definitely needed to do it for a match like this.
Yeah. And the music over the top as well. The music added so much to it. The suspense.
Yeah. the only few niggly things. Some of Taker's acting was great. Some of it was like, oh, dude, come on, do a bit of drama. But the three things that kind of made me go, all right. I thought the stupid AJ glove at the end was ridiculous.
I thought that was great. I loved that.
This horrible toy arm. And I was like,
I thought it was fucking hilarious, and I liked it.
Took me out of it. I was like, oh, that was actually okay. Oh, there's a shitty little prop. Oh god. Who were the druids?
I don't know. We don't know.
Where did they come from? I thought there might be an explanation. And yes, AJ did get his offense in, but for the last few months, his character's kind of been buried. He's meant to be.
Well, he's literally been buried now.
Well, yeah, but he's meant to be stronger with the club, and he's been punked out by Taker 3 out of 3 times now.
Yeah, I know, and I'll be honest, if we weren't having this Boneyard match and it was just going to be a regular match and at Mania in Tampa, I think AJ probably would have gone over. However, with the circumstances, it doesn't really make sense for AJ to beat Taker in his backyard, really. Do you know what I mean? It just, like, cinematic-wise, story-wise, with this whole... Because they make it like a mini-movie, it makes more sense for Taker to be the guy that wins because he's the face in this fight, and with it being a mini-movie, at the end of your movies, your bad guys always lose. Infinity War aside... But or Empire Strikes Back aside, 9 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, your good guy wins. So it just made sense for the point of this mini movie, really.
I like that they somehow managed to. I think the reason he was talking smack more was the whole story of mentioning his wife and his age and whatnot. So when Taker first arrived, it was all business, like all right. So there was the anger of like him as a man, as Mark Calloway, and then as he started getting control. You could see he started enjoying it, and his confidence, like, come on, boy, you wanted to do this. Let's go, boy.
He's just like, what's my wife's name? How old am I?
I was like, he's fully embracing that he's the American badass again.
Yeah.
But then he do the mythical stuff now and then, like when he appeared behind AJ on the...
Yeah, that was fun, man. I thought, again, I laughed, but in a good way.
Yeah. And then there was the fire...
The fire thing, that was good.
So it's like, okay, you've crossed all 3 of your personas as the man, the American badass, and the phenom, or dead man, whatever, and it's sort of working.
Yeah.
If AJ would have won, the only other scenario I had in my head to build up for next year's Mania was like, I'm taking in control, he looks like he's going to do it, and then out of nowhere, a black mass puts Taker in the grave. AJ and the OC are like, what the fuck? They bury him, and they all scurry away, and then just at the end of the film, Taker's hand pops out the grave, and then you don't see anything again for a year.
I would say...
That's the only way I think AJ should have won.
I'd like that, but apart from the hand, I would have him sit up out of the dirt.
Possibly, possibly. But I'm not knocking it because I'm a Taker fan, so I'm always going to be happy when he wins. And I think most of the fans went away from that happy,
entertained.
Yeah, which is what you should do, and especially in times where everyone's struggling. WWE pretty much knocked it out of the park with this.
Yeah, they did. They made you forget about stuff that's going on, and that's I can't knock them for that.
Yeah, and that's just part 1, people.
Yeah, so let's crack on with part 2.
Yeah, so part 2. Let's see what started. The NXT Women's Championship.
Yes,
I thought those girls went to town on each other.
Yep, 100%.
I thought it was a great match.
Really enjoyed the match. This is the match that Shayna and Becky should have had.
Yeah, but I think at one point, maybe 3/4 of the way through, one of the commentators just said, these 2 girls are spent. I was like, yes, they are. They are putting it all on the line here. Not many standout moments, but a lot of like when Charlotte started working on the leg.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of stiff shots in this match as well, especially with the leg as well. And the selling of Rhea with the leg, she was proper screaming and everything. Again, good stories being told.
Yes, they made it a believable fight.
Yes, absolutely.
In a almost non-kayfabe era now is hard to do. But it was like, these 2 girls for the children in the audience, or those that still don't know about kayfabe, they would have watched that like these 2 women are legitimately fighting each other.
Yeah.
For the most part, they were.
Yeah, it was really good.
Shots.
Rhea got her finisher move in early, didn't she? I think.
And Charlotte kicked out too.
Yeah, we got a couple of. I've got a moonsault at some point as well, didn't we?
Yeah, but like the commentator said that when what was it, Riptide? That was it.
Riptide, that's it.
When Charlotte kicked out and rolled out, Rhea wasn't rattled. It was just kind of like, I knew it wouldn't put you away because it's too early, but it's my way of going. Like, I can go with you.
Yeah,
you've got to fight. So
apparently, her attire as well was inspired by Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z.
Oh right, that's cool.
Yeah, I didn't notice it when I was watching it, but I checked it out afterwards, and yeah, apparently that's what she did.
I did like her attire actually. I did notice it, but again, it's not really much of a this spot, that spot. If anyone wants to go back and watch it, it's like it's almost a wrestling clinic. It's a great wrestling match.
Fight. Yeah, it's a proper fight.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what to feel about the end.
Yeah, me neither.
Like Charlotte winning and taking the title. I'm looking forward with the aspect of her going to NXT and fighting with some new people and freshening that up. I'm all for that because that's quite interesting. There's loads of people she can go against there, and I'm interested to see those matchups. But at the same time, what are they doing with Rhea? Are they putting her on the main roster, or is she staying in NXT? Because my thought process is, if she's going to NXT, then Rhea should be coming to Raw or SmackDown or whatever they want to do with her. And maybe if they've lost interest in Shayna, then maybe put Rhea on the main roster and have her get a bit of a push. Maybe put her versus Becky. I don't know, but they need to make sure that they do something with Rhea. It hasn't damaged her necessarily because the match was really, really good and she was worked over really well to the point where it didn't seem like it was a fluke win or anything like that. She worked and she wrestled her ass off to try and keep that belt. And she couldn't do it. So now just keep her strong and just do something good with her on the main roster. I don't want her to be lost in the shuffle. I pray that doesn't happen because she's so great.
I think the only thing I thought of at the end was I think the figure 4, in Charlotte's case, figure 8, is the only submission where you could potentially get pinned because of it. If your shoulders fall to the mat, the ref will do the count.
Yeah.
I thought this is a good opportunity to do that. If Rhea just passes out from the pain, and then for like a first time ever, someone goes down to the figure 4, figure 8, whatever, like that, it means Rhea didn't give up. She just fought till she had no more, passed out from the pain, Charlotte wins. And again, Rhea's less damaged.
Yeah.
But now, because she tapped out, if she goes to the main roster, Raw, SmackDown, whatever, and goes, I want a title shot, they'd be like, well, no, you lost at WrestleMania, you tapped out. You haven't earned
You have to. Well, maybe sticking her in the Money in the Bank is the way to go.
Yeah, do that, or have the rematch with Charlotte at the next takeover. I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, but it depends what they want to do with Charlotte, because I don't want it to be like Charlotte's there for like 3 weeks and then she's gone back to the main roster again. No, if she's going to NXT, she needs to stay there for a while.
You do watch him doing with Finn Balor.
Yeah, 100%.
Stay for a while.
But yeah, it was a great match. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah. Next was Aleister Black Bobby.
Didn't care about the match. And it did what it needed to do in case of putting Black over again. Black mass out of nowhere. This match went on far too long, and it wasn't even a long match. It was about 6 minutes long. For me, I wanted Bobby to go for a spear, get Black masked and pinned. It went on a little bit longer than that, but essentially the same result happened. He got told to do something else by Lana, and then he got Black masked out of nowhere and pinned. I have got nothing more to say about it other than Black won, and that's what I wanted.
Yeah, again, it was one of those where they're great athletes and wrestlers, but it was a filler match.
Yeah.
At the time when Bobby came out, because he weren't doing the stupid, like, smiling and flirting with Lana and rubbing it in Rusev's face, which has been the last few months, he was all business. I was thinking, right, why don't you just do that kind of thing that Heyman and Lesnar do?
Yeah.
He says nothing. Lana speaks the big game. And slowly but surely put Lashley over as, I'm a dickhead, but I'm a dominant dickhead.
Yeah.
And then they kind of, I don't know what story they're going with, but now the fact that Lana said go for the spear and he lost because of it is going to be like maybe friction between them.
Split them up. I don't care about them as a couple. The Rusev thing's done. He's clearly sitting out his contract, so just get rid of it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm interested to see where it's going to go, but they're obviously planning something. Well, I hope so. Otherwise, it's just become another pointless match.
Yeah, but at the time of recording, it's a pointless match.
Yeah, at least Alistair won. I think
Yeah,
that's what
yeah, true.
All right, this is kind of a lighter one. Otis Ziggler.
Oh, I loved it. It was just, like I said, it wasn't an amazing wrestling match. It just had all the kind of things you expect on a normal TV bout against someone like Ziggler and Otis. Nothing stand out like that. They did all their regular stuff. I just loved the story, and I didn't think like when it first started, I was like, really? And as time has gone on, I've become more endeared and more compelled with this character and this storyline that they've been doing with Mandy and Otis and Ziggler and Sonya. The whole thing of Sonya being the one that sent the text, brilliant, all worked really well. Mandy Rose coming out and low blowing Ziggler to give Otis the win, and they kiss at the end like Randy Savage and Elizabeth. It was a full-on moment like that, and I just thought, when was the last time we had like a proper love story, kind of endearing, kind of fairy tale story happening in wrestling?
That you invested in.
Yeah, you invested in it. It's been a long freaking time. And I liked it. It was fun. It put everybody over. I enjoyed it. It was a nice, kind of light-hearted break to some of this more serious stuff.
When we talk about, like, with our other friends about, oh, wouldn't it be great if this happened, or I think this is going to happen, majority of the time, it doesn't happen that way. And 75% of the time, they do it worse. 25% of the time, they do it better. In this story, everything that the fans wanted to happen happened, and it wasn't a whole, oh, well, I predicted that. It was like, no, that's just what I wanted.
Yeah, and it's what I wanted, and we loved it. It was brilliant.
Otis and Ziggler, again, that was Ziggler's first ever one-on-one WrestleMania match.
Jesus, that is bad.
Years,
that is bad.
Again, the match didn't stand out for anything apart from, obviously, the low blow behind the ref's back.
Yeah.
Then Mandy came in, clocked Sonya, everything you just said. The one thing, it was great. Just it was that feel-good moment.
Yeah.
That Mania's for. The one thing people seem to overlook, which I'm interested in, who's the hacker?
I still think it's Ali.
Yeah, it probably is Ali. But when they showed the vignette back of like when he turned around and pressed the button on the keyboard, it was a Caucasian hand. And Ali's obviously Caucasian.
Was it definitely? So, yeah, but he's not like full on black or anything, is he? So he's.
But yeah,
because he's mixed race with the shadow and everything, it might have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, again, it could be a ruse or a swerve or whatnot, but I just figured, I saw that it was a prominently white man's hand.
I just don't know what else it could be. I just can't think of anyone else. But which is why I'm kind of hoping it's not Ali, because if it isn't him, then I've been swerved, because I generally can't think of who else it could be.
Yeah, it could be NXT superstar we've forgotten about that's coming up. I said to my brother, is this Johnny Gargano? But again, it's like, there was nothing really wrong with his Johnny wrestling character anyway. Why would he go to this? But if it's Ali, so be it. But I always like those kind of glitchy hacker, who's behind this kind of story.
Little teases.
Yeah, so I'm glad for Otis and Mandy being a kayfabe romantic couple, whatever. Yeah. But yeah, I'm more interested in to see who this hacker's going to be.
Okay.
Next was the Last Man Standing.
See, a lot of people didn't like this match.
No, my brother did, and I did.
I liked the match. My only downside is that it did, unfortunately, go on a little bit too long. It was about 36 minutes in total, which is quite long. If you'd have chopped about 10 minutes out of that, it would have been a hell of a match. But as far as it was a moment just to kind of enjoy going around and hitting each other with stuff and you know, it's exactly kind of what I expected. It was fun. They had all these spots and everything with ladders, chairs, different parts of the arena, different parts of the warehouse, up on top of the truck, on top of the car. They just did loads of different things and just had a little bit of fun with it. And obviously, with this being Edge's first match back, it was a good idea to go with Orton because it's safe and they know each other, and this is a good match to do that. And I mean, it went on too long, but that aside, it was good. Even the ending made the end of the storyline perfect, because the whole concerto thing has been going around through the entire storyline. So to finish off Orton with the concerto and for the 10 count, that makes sense to the story. Yeah,
it was one of them where, again, they needed to take advantage of the empty performance centre, which... they used the gym, like I said, the warehouse, the offices, and great. The problem my brother had was like the majority of the match was them just kind of stumbling around in like small corridors and stuff rather than fighting. I was like, okay, but when they were fighting, it felt again like a legitimate fight.
Yeah, but this is where they could have cropped these minutes out. The bits where they're kind of stumbling around, they could have sped that up a little bit and cut down the time. And given the fact that you can edit this as you please because you're pre-recording, that's, like I say, is where the downside is. You could have cut those bits and chopped them up and everything and made it just a more fluid and quicker match.
Yeah, but the start was great with the 2 RKOs.
Yep.
Where he just came in.
He was a cameraman, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. It proved, I know it wasn't a proper wrestling match as such, but it proved Edge can still go.
Yep.
I did think to myself about 3/4 of the way through, like, they're being quite brutal, but not brutal enough when I'm thinking, oh my God, Edge got to be careful because of his neck. Until he jumped off the cage through the 2 tables.
Yes.
Cause I thought that was it. I thought that'd be the end of the match. And then it was like another 15 minutes. Then I saw the truck. I thought, he's getting speared off the truck. Are they going through the truck? There was that massive ladder.
Yeah, I saw that last. I was like, I don't think I've ever seen a ladder that big. What the fuck? I mean, the only thing I think of is that the TLC, when they put all the ladders at the top of the Titantron and everything, like just the prop ones. But even then, I don't remember it being that big. I couldn't even see the top of it. Even when the camera panned right out, I still couldn't see the top.
I just kept thinking, what the hell are they going to do with that?
They didn't do anything.
They've got to be careful because of Edge.
Yeah.
Nothing. And then they used the back of the pickup truck a bit, but I was begging for someone to get in the driver's seat and do something. So I enjoyed the match for what it was because I was invested in the story anyway.
Yeah.
It felt like a fight. And especially the emotion at the end from Edge.
Yeah.
I think you're going to have to bleep him out when he said to the ref, don't you fucking count.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he said, don't you fucking count.
Like, yeah. And then just Orton sold it brilliantly of just this kind of twisted body in so much pain and the Edge feeling so bad for it that he had to do what he had to do because what Orton did to him, his family and all that. So, yeah, I just, again, enjoyed it for the story that was told. And I'm glad to see Edge back in form. I'm glad that Edge had his Mania moment. And I can't wait to see more of Edge.
Yep.
And that, I think, is what the match was intended to do in the first place.
Yeah.
Like, Edge is back. Here he is. You're going to see a lot more of him. And Orton was at Mania. Because you can't have a Mania without Orton. So, in my opinion.
No, you can't. I mean, we didn't have Triple H this year, which is probably a good thing.
Now, isn't it ironic that I don't think he was going to wrestle anyway, but the one Mania where there's not a crowd, he's like, oh, well, what a shame. Yeah.
I'm busy. I'm doing anything else. So.
Yeah, if there's no one there, fuck it. But, next was the Raw Tag Title, Street Profits versus Garza and Theory.
To me, it was just a kind of standard TV match. Really?
Yeah.
No one ever believed that the Street Profits were going to lose because the tag team was randomly put together given circumstances with Andrade. So there was no stakes to it, and I just wasn't invested in the match because, like I say, it was chucked together at the last minute. You could have just not had the match. It was just a standard TV match, and Street Profits retained. I've got nothing more to say about it, really. There's not really anything that stands out to me.
Again, everyone's problem was like no one ever believed Profits were going to lose the titles.
Yeah.
From what I saw, it was a fast-paced, high-energy match. So kudos to him for just keeping that up and the energy and the excitement. I thought Zelina's headgear looked terrible.
I quite liked her attire. I didn't mind her attire with the skulls and her shoulder pads and everything. I quite liked it, but
she looked like a flower. It was weird. I didn't really dig it really, but then after the match,
this is the only bit that's noteworthy.
Yeah, I mean, is it Bianca Belair?
Yeah.
Is that it? Yeah. She came out to help the Profits because Zelina was doing like the stomping down on them. But I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was a debut or just a moment.
Apparently, there was rumours going around that they might call Bianca Belair up to the main roster. I don't know how true those things are. Like at this time recording, guys, neither of us have seen Raw, so we don't know what's happened there.
I know what's happened on Raw, but
I do, yeah. Well, like I say, I did. That's the rumours, and obviously she's married to one of the street. No, that's Selena Vega. No, Belair's married to what's his face from Street Profits.
Oh, Montez Ford.
Yeah,
or the other one.
No, Montez Ford. That's why she came out.
Okay.
So it's kind of like we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's just, I think it would have had, I know there was no crowd there to have a reaction, but it would have had more impact on me as a viewer if the music had hit and then she came out.
Yeah,
it would have been, oh my God, it's Belair, awesome. But yeah, I mean, it was an okay moment, but it's kind of like, all right, what was that for?
Yeah, it's kind of fell flat because there's no crowd, and obviously we don't know what's going on. So
yeah, it just left a lot more people confused and happy, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Just as a side note, I know Austin Theory's kind of seen as a nobody right now because he's NXT and he just got called up for this match. But I've seen his work in Evolve Wrestling and stuff. He is the future. Yeah. I put in my mark on him. Austin Theory is amazing. So, yeah, just a tip of the cap for Austin Theory there. Next was the Fatal 5-Way for the SmackDown Women's title.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was more of a story-based thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
They put Tony over as like this kind of massive monster, and just like, but no one believes it. No one gives a shit. So they had to all kind of pile on her to get rid of her, didn't they? And then they got rid of Naomi. And then it was down to the Bayley and Sasha versus Lacey, pretty much. And it was like a miscommunication where Banks got hit.
Bayley needs Sasha.
Yeah, she needs Sasha, and that caused her to roll into a women's right and get pinned. And then she's lying on the outside the whole time while Bayley and Lacey were having a reasonable match, the two of them, and they built it up to the point where it felt like Lacey was genuinely going to win it. But then I noticed a couple of times that Sasha was still laying out on the outside, so like she's got to get involved.
Yeah.
And it didn't go the way I thought it was going to go.
No, I didn't. I generally thought the last two were going to be Sasha and Bayley.
I honestly thought it was going to go this way, as in like Sasha was going to get eliminated early because of Bayley. That I thought was going to happen, but the way the match actually ended, I didn't expect that. I thought she was going to cost Bayley the title.
Yeah, I think the problem was, after the knee, Sasha did get back in the ring, like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
And it was an accident, let's just get through this. And I think initially Bayley tried to push Sasha out of harm's way, but it's still got the women's right.
Yes.
And then obviously Sasha comes in, because Bayley and Lacey had a great back and forth for a while, and then Sasha comes in, backstabber to Lacey, Bayley takes advantage, still champ, and then Sasha comes in and places the belt around her waist.
Yeah.
And even Bayley was a bit confused.
Yeah. Even at the end when she's like celebrating and Sasha's standing behind her, I was like, is this it? She's going to do it? She's going to do it? And then it just fades. I was like, oh.
Yeah. But again, it's kind of interesting, like, right, why didn't she do it? It's almost like another chapter to this story.
Yeah, apparently again it's more rumours, not confirmed yet, but the rumours are that they're not going in with this as these against each other for the summer feud. They're going against like building up towards it. So that over the next couple of months, this is the first nail in the coffin. So they're building up and putting more nails in the coffin as time goes on, more dissension, more unsurety and uncertainty with each other until one of them finally snaps on the other one. So it's not a case of the feud's happening now, it's a case of the feud starting to build.
But that's good. Like we've been saying for months, like longevity.
Yeah.
Longevity stories, so when the match happens, you're clamouring for it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, keep going that way, just don't fuck it up.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of potential because they're both heel. So I like the fact that I generally don't know which one's going to turn on which.
No.
That I like.
I think Sasha might be the one to turn face just with the way things are going with Bayley at the minute. But the thing is with the match itself, the problem with these kind of matches, and no offence to them, but especially the women's matches at Mania, because matches like this have happened for the women's division a lot in the last few Manias.
Yeah, not single ones.
They seem to be the same. They always go the same way.
Yeah.
But when Naomi was eliminated, it did kind of become a pure wrestling match.
Yeah, and it was decent.
Instead of like the quick clusterfuck it usually is. This was, again, it had more story to it this time.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
Yeah, same here. And I'm intrigued to see what they do going forward with these two.
Yeah, and to my knowledge, that's the first time in a while I think both women's champions have walked in and out still the champion.
Yeah, I think so.
At WrestleMania. So, yeah, interesting side note there.
2 more to go.
Firefly Funhouse match.
Firefly Funhouse. John Cena versus The Fiend.
Weird as fuck.
It's weird, but Christ, again, it's so enjoyable, wasn't it? It was just like, what the hell is happening? I was like, I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. I was like, what am I seeing here? We're going through all the greatest hits of Cena. We're going through greatest hits of certain parts through WWE history. Bray Wyatt playing his characters, Cena playing his older characters, all of this kind of stuff. Him going through this whole... The mistakes he made and the WrestleMania match they had with Bray and not taking the chair shot. All of this stuff building up, even like taking the piss at the fact of him being the new Hogan, with the end of it, all of that stuff. And then finally, when he's got him so confused and so disarrayed and so out of it, the Fiend appears, puts him in the mandible claw, hits him with his sister Abigail, puts him in the mandible claw again, and pins Cena. But Bray Wyatt's the one pinning and like tapping him, and it was such a clusterfuck. But Christ, like I say, it was so entertaining. I couldn't take my eyes off it.
When Cena first appeared in the Firefly Funhouse, I thought, okay, I really don't know how I feel about this or how this is going to go. And then obviously there was the Vince puppet saying, you need this aggression.
This is real good shit.
But I also thought Cena's, again, swearing in it, but it worked.
Yeah.
Cena's acting sometimes, I don't know if it was purposely bad for what's the word I'm looking for? Just the kind of slapstick thing that...
Yeah, I think you're doing it for the comedic effect, yeah.
But just everything, I laughed at it, I was entertained by it, I thought bits were awesome, and again, it kind of did the boxes that the Boneyard match ticked.
Yeah.
But I might put this as better than the Boneyard match.
Everybody's going mad about it. Like, everybody's saying how great it is. Even Ollie from Wrestle Talk, and he's quite a cynic when it comes to certain things going on with WWE, as are a lot of people. Yeah. He went down saying this is the best thing he's seen in a long time in WWE.
It did something which is really hard to do when you're not, again, having a wrestling match.
Yeah.
One of the most impressive things for me is that when Bray lost to Goldberg at Showdown, we thought, fuck. But they pretty much buried Bray again here. He brought it back from the dead.
Yeah, like, with this, 100%. Expert. Absolutely.
But the whole thing of him doing the Kurt Angle thing and then Cena coming back in this shitty little gear and Bray just basically turning every failure that Cena had into his enjoyment and then eventually turning it into... Because that whole thing was Saturday Night's Main Event where they were doing the Hogan and the Russell stuff. But him saying just stuff like, oh, back then, you didn't need talent, you just needs to be big. I was like, another dig. Okay. Then, obviously, the Dr. Thugonomics stuff.
Yeah.
And I can't exactly remember what Bray said, but I think he basically said, like, you're just a bully, aren't you?
Yeah.
You bully people, you use your rap to put people down, and yet you still say you care about the future. Well, go ahead, John. Say what you want to say.
And I like...
Nothing.
I like as well that he even sang "You Can Look But You Can't Touch" from Nicki. I was like, yes! I was like, it's another dig. It's just... It was really good, because I like the fact that the story was told. Like, the promo that Cena put before the match, like on SmackDown, was like, we're going to put an end to the most... Yeah, like the most overhyped, most overprivileged wrestler in history. And what he essentially did was help Bray Wyatt bury himself.
Yeah, Bray turned his own words around on it.
Yeah.
Like, the whole thing of him saying, I'm going to bury Bray with that whole overhyped thing is like, no, you're the most overhyped, overprotected motherfucker. And finally, after, I think Cena probably agrees it's time. After 15-odd years, it was Cena's turn to get buried. And Bray did it like a god.
Absolute champ.
But there was the other thing. I loved the fact that we saw the Bray of old back in the rocking chair.
Yeah, again, I liked it. It was...
there he is again.
Yeah.
And what was the other thing? Oh, going back to WrestleMania 30, he goes, you say you listen to the people, and then it showed the replay of all of WrestleMania 30 singing He's Got the Whole World in His Hands. He goes, well, why weren't you listening that night?
Yeah.
I was like, everything he's saying, he's nailing John to the wall here.
He is. Absolutely.
To go back to, because now Titus was now the host, because Gronk had won the 24/7 title and fucked up.
Yeah.
To go back to Titus and just, he was pretty much reacting like the rest of the fans were, like,
I don't know what I just saw.
Like what I just watched. But I loved it.
Yeah.
And I can't...
It was the best non-wrestling match ever.
Yeah. It's got to the point now, it's like, people probably are now questioning, is that it for Cena?
Well, I don't think he's it, but he's gone for a while. He's gone back to Hollywood, so...
Yeah. And on the other side, it's like, I just can't wait to see Bray again.
I know. He's revitalised the character so emphatically.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
The interesting thing as well is, obviously, a lot more people are more drawn to the Fiend side of Bray Wyatt than Funhouse Bray. We only saw the Fiend for like maybe a minute.
But this is the brilliance of it, is the fact that he's wearing Cena down with all of these things going on inside his head. Because we're assuming that Cena goes inside Bray's head. That's what we're assuming. Yeah. And he's wearing him down and doing all these bits and bobs, and to the point where he feels like right at the moment, on the cusp of the moment where he realised Cena's completely doubted himself and he's completely unsure, that's when the Fiend appears. And that kind of makes sense for the Fiend as a character. Every time he's gone against someone, he's taken their flaws and their disadvantages, and he's exposed them. And then because of that, he's been able to win. Like, he's been able to revert people back to what they were before they went against him. Done it with Seth Rollins, he was a face and then he turned heel. When he did it with Daniel Bryan, he became the indie darling, shaved his head off everything again. When he did it with Finn Balor, he became the Prince and went back to NXT. He did the same thing with Cena. The only reason it didn't work with Goldberg is because Goldberg has never changed in the entire time. He's just been Goldberg, so we can't change him. So he found no weakness with Goldberg. And that makes absolute sense. That actually makes more sense. As like, if he did lose to Goldberg, that cushions the blow a little bit, having it like that he couldn't find a weakness in Goldberg, because there is no weakness to him. There is no change. There is no bad side to Goldberg. It's just he comes in, spears, and goes night. But everyone else has had a bad point in their life, or a point where they're struggling, and he exposes that, and that's how he gets his wins.
Bray's done this amazing thing where he's obviously done this whole create two characters in one. And he's made himself so much stronger by, again, not an actual match, of showing Funhouse Bray is... Well, the whole point of this new Bray from the first place was like, he feels the follower Charlie Manson kind of character failed. And he focused on that. So now, and that's why he, like you say, he focuses on his opponent's failures. And he goes, I've overcome my failures to make it the strength. You guys can't do the same, so you are fucked. And I'm going to expose you for what you are.
Yeah.
Again, why are you going to old rivalries? He's blaming them for his failures. But Firefly Funhouse Bray, this thing has proved he's the one that will mentally wear you down, like you say, get into your head and fuck you up. And then the Fiend version is like, just when you think it can't get any worse, this unstoppable monster means you've got no physical chance either.
Yeah, he comes in and just picks the bones.
Yeah, I'll eventually fuck you up as the Funhouse Bray, and then the Fiend version will just destroy you. And he's become so strong because of it. So, yes, maybe his next opponent will be Braun. It wouldn't surprise me, because he keeps going to old rivalries, if he targets Roman Reigns next. Because he said, anyone but you, Roman, for years. And I think he wants to finish that.
Yeah, okay. But either way, loved it. So entertaining.
Yeah, so Bray kind of wins, because it wasn't really kind of match. But
he won. I'll go for a win. That's definitely a win.
Yeah, he won. He's finally had a WrestleMania victory, even if it wasn't a real one. But there you go. Next was the main event.
Yes, Brock Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre.
Yes. Now, unfortunately, I accidentally read the result before I watched it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it just it wasn't on Facebook. It was just one of those like on blabbermouth.net as an article that you can open up, and it goes, Drew McIntyre wins a fuck! But,
the match itself didn't go as long as I wanted it to. I wanted a bit more out of the match. And it was the match I was most looking forward to, but I was most hesitant about going in because I felt so sorry for Drew. I watched the Chronicle thing beforehand, and it's just, I felt so sorry for the guy that he gets this moment, but he doesn't get it in front of the crowd. Even Brock Lesnar's been batting backstage about how this shouldn't have been happening, and I think Drew was one of the catalysts that pushed Brock forward to do that. But they had to do what they had to do, and, I wanted more out of the match, but to be perfectly honest, Drew won quite emphatically. Like, Lesnar got his offense in as he usually did, pushing him into the corner, doing his suplexes, F5s, and Drew just kept kicking out. He just kept kicking out. He kicked out of 3, didn't he, I think? 2 in succession.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
And then when he finally got hold of it, he claymored him I think 3 times in total.
I think that might have been 4 as well. Actually,
and then on the 4th one, he picks up the win, and I'm so happy for him. And you can see the emotion in his eyes and everything. About he gets that milestone, but he is aware that there's no one there to do it. But he did look down the camera and everything, just saying thank you and everything, and he celebrated, and I loved it. I loved they gave us the best that we could out of this situation. It's just unfortunate we didn't get more for him, but at the end of the day, I'm so happy for him.
Yeah, I had mixed emotions about it. It's like, yes, you deserve this. Yes, you deserve to be at a WrestleMania, but not one wrestler has ever thought, I just want the belt. They think, I want to win that belt and I want the fans to go mental. That's the dream they have, which is why at one point I thought they might have gone with Brock, of going...
Well, hold off.
Right, yeah, but hold off. More sympathy for Drew, shock factor, and then when there's fans again, you can have that moment. It might not be at WrestleMania, but if it were me, I'd rather have a moment at another pay-per-view in front of thousands of screaming fans than an empty arena, whether it be WrestleMania or not.
No, I mean, yeah, I totally agree. But again, it could be the same thing like Brock's contract. I don't know, but yeah. I am happy for Drew. I really am. I'm hoping they don't wreck it now. Now he's got his title, they need to push forward this, make him the guy, make him the main guy in the company.
I am worried though that every Lesnar match for the title is going to become the same though, with just his finishes, German suplexes, their finishes, ends it. It seemed very Goldberg-esque and very Roman Reigns-esque.
Yeah. Like I said, I think the match could have gone longer.
Yeah, I was expecting more of a fight than more of a spot fest. The thing was, when Drew got the victory, they panned to Heyman, and usually Heyman's got that look of shock on his face. He had more of a disdain. Now, I don't know if that was just his character, or... To me, I was looking at his face of going... I was reading it as Heyman thinking, this should be such a bigger moment for him.
Yeah, like you generally feel sorry for him.
Yeah, it was just like... It was almost as soon as the 3 count happened, they probably shouldn't have panned to Heyman, because Heyman's look was more like, no, it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, when Lesnar was coming out at the start, you could see how visibly pissed off he was, because he didn't want to do it. Like, he didn't want to do it this way. He wanted to put Drew over in the correct way, but he was forced to do it this way.
It was weird as well not hearing Heyman do his intro, because there was no ladies and gentlemen there.
Yeah, we didn't get that. I was really shocked about that. I was like, why is Heyman not doing his intro?
Maybe he was pissed off, or maybe... I thought he could still do ladies and gentlemen around the world, but he just was like, maybe him and Brock were just like, fuck it, we're both pissed off, let's just do this and get the fuck out of here.
Maybe.
Yeah. Now, it was a good way to end Mania, considering what the result was.
Yeah.
Apparently, I'm still not sure if this is a Raw thing or not. They show it on Raw, but I've got the results here on Wikipedia and stuff, and they're claiming it as a match that happened after WrestleMania, but they're showing it on Raw. Now, I won't say it because obviously you haven't watched Raw yet, but I was like, why would you do a dark match after WrestleMania? If you're going to have a match at WrestleMania, have it on the fucking show. Show it on the network.
What, are you saying that the Drew Lesnar one is a dark match?
They did Drew Lesnar, and then there was a match after that.
Oh, okay.
Spoil, which, again, I don't know, because I think they recorded Raw pretty much straight after.
Right.
That they did. But the way... You'll notice it when you watch it, because during the match, the WrestleMania logos are still all over the LED boards. So I'm not sure if they're going, Mania's over, this is the first Raw match, or welcome to Raw, this happened after WrestleMania. It's very confusing.
Oh, I'll have to check that out.
List as well. When you watch it, you'll be like, oh, that bit's cool, but it's fucking needless. So, yeah, I've kind of went off on a tangent now about that, but yeah, it was. I guess it was the correct decision for Drew to become. It's definitely correct for him to be champion now.
Yeah. Just
under shitty circumstances.
Yeah, it is. But so, I am happy for him.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm more happy for him than I am Braun.
Yeah. Oh God. Just think about it. Braun Strowman is your Universal Champion. I still can't get over it. I can't get over it. It's ridiculous.
Going into this a few weeks ago, I was thinking the ranking I'm probably going to give for this is probably going to be low because of no fans and stuff.
Yeah, because you got to take that into account, unfortunately.
Yeah, but in my head I thought I'm always going to give it at least a 1 because out of the respect for the production crew and wrestlers that actually did it, turned up during these hard times to do. But now I'm trying to look at it as in, forget that there was no fans, take it for what it was presented as. So I might, to be fair to them, there's only like a handful of matches that were a bit
But for the most part, I was really entertained. It was a great match. A great show, sorry.
Yeah, I think I'll go straight in the middle with a 5.
Is that it? 5?
Because I still need to take into... I'm trying to look at it as like what a regular show should be and what a Mania should be. And, it's not their fault, but it should be a huge stadium with fans and spectacle. But it wasn't. But for the stuff they did have control over and they did deliver, they delivered better than I thought they would.
Yeah.
So, because I think, to be honest, it definitely, not only was it definitely not the greatest WrestleMania of all time, it wasn't the greatest show of all time either. No, some might be their fault, some just because of this stupid coronavirus going around at the minute that's fucking everything up. But, so I'm taking everything with a pinch of salt, but giving credit where credit is due at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I go in the same, like, in the fact that I'm pinch of salt, credit where credit's due. But at the end of the day, I thought to myself, crowd aside, I came away thoroughly entertained with this, and a lot of things happened the way I wanted them to. Things didn't happen the way I wanted them to, but I wasn't necessarily pissed off with it. Even with the Strowman thing, I was still, because I'm laughing about it and talking about it, I can't not.
It was a shock.
Shock. Yeah, it really was stupid, but it was a shock. And then the scripted matches and the little mini movies and all that, everything just... I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I was really entertained. I properly enjoyed it because I was generally shocked that I was as invested as I was, considering that going in, none of us were that bothered because of circumstances, and they knocked it out the park for me.
Yeah, I might stretch it to a 6 then. I mean, there was stuff like the Otis Mandy thing definitely would have gone down better with the crowd there. We know that.
Same with the Drew thing.
Yeah, but I can't look at it all like that because it's almost like going, I don't know, if there was like a renowned crowd in America where they just didn't pop at anything, like if every time they went to Pittsburgh or something, it's like, oh, you could knock it out of the park, but they might just go, eh. It's kind of like going, oh, they did great because the crowd would have been better in Nevada or whatever, but it wasn't. And it's the same with this of like, would have been great if there was a crowd, but there wasn't. Right. And I have to take that into account to be, I have to be
honest,
not fair as such, but impartial. I know it's not their fault, but as a fan, I need to see it the way, no fan wanted to see it that way.
Yeah.
Regardless of whose fault it was, which it was nobody's. It's just this natural fucking pandemic that's fucking everything up. And like you said, another part of me is still thinking, still a bit pissed off with Vince. That he just didn't own this.
Yeah, I think everybody is, but... Yeah, at the end of the day, it went ahead and it made me forget about the world for 6 hours. You know what I mean? So I can't really knock it for that.
Yeah, it's just, I was entertained. I enjoyed the most of it. But sometimes I begin to think, when is enough? How many times are you going to put your staff's health at risk just for money?
Yeah.
So, and there's a lot of people around the world now with their jobs, Your wife, for one, has to go to work still when she probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
But, that's a completely different conversation altogether. So, I think, you kind of convinced me to go from 5 to 6, but I think I'll stick.
Go 6 and then an 8 then.
Yeah. So, not a great Mania, not a bad Mania, but a unique Mania.
Very unique.
Yeah.
That's Mania 36.
Yeah. How was that?
That was an hour and a half, I think.
Oh my God. My mum's tried ringing me 4 times, so she'll probably ring her back.
Right, okay. Well, we apologise, obviously, with if there was any kind of audio problems at any point. Hopefully it was reasonably seamless, but obviously we've got to make do with what we can. We'll be back. I don't know. We'll be back at some point with some other stuff. You know, we're going to think of it. We'll try and get something out.
Angle lock thing going.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think they're still going through a Money in the Bank on May 10th.
I don't see that happening.
I don't know. I don't know why they didn't swap Money in the Bank and Backlash around. I really don't.
But yeah, so we'll be back soon, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, subscribe, and we'll be back hopefully next week or the week after, whenever we do it. But we'll be back soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll see you when we see you.
Everybody stay safe.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.